domine nuestras vidas, nuestras ciudades, nuestro modo de vivir, se nos va a endurecer el cuello de tanto mirar al otro lado para no ver esta situación. Por favor, dejemos de hacer invisibles a los que están al margen de la sociedad, ya sea por motivos de pobreza, independencia, enfermedades psíquicas o minusvalías. Centremos en la acogida, en acoger a todas las personas que lo necesitan. La cultura de la acogida, de recibir, de dar techo, de dar hogar, de dar amor, de dar calidez humana. Oremos para que las personas que viven al margen de la sociedad, en condiciones de vida infrahumanas, no sean olvidadas por las instituciones y nunca sean descartadas.
Enjoy this conversation with me, Maureen Kimani, every Friday from 9 a.m. on our Health Corner show here at Capuchin TV. Your health is your wealth.
A very good morning to you, dear viewer. Thank you for joining us right here on our Health Corner show with me, Maureen Kimani, a program brought to you by Capuchin TV. Well, in this program, we bring you conversation about your well-being, your health, and your mental health. Well, today we have a very interesting conversation that we all maybe have come across about it, or maybe we don't know. But worry not, because in the studio we have a very good group, a very young people, but they advocate for mental health, and that is our Scouts Healing Invisible Wounds, and we're very delighted to have them here in the studio. And I want to say something that, remember, mental health is very important to everyone at every stage, whether in your childhood, adolescence, and even in your adulthood, because let us be there for our friends, our relatives, and even for our loved ones when their mental health are not in place, or maybe they're struggling with one different different way. Maybe they're struggling with their mental health. Let us all be there for them so that they can help them, and we can also be part of their journey, and to make sure that we create a very good environment for them. And remember that your mental health and your well-being is very important, and that your health is your wealth. Well, welcome to the conversation. My name is Maureen Kimani, and I hope you're going to learn a lot on these. And without further ado, allow me to introduce my guests to you. Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you doing?
Good morning. Very good.
Good to have you here.
Excited to be here.
All right. I know I mentioned that you are from the group of Scouts Healing Invisible Wounds, but maybe people would love to hear you talk, and of course maybe know their name kindly. I don't know if we start with ladies first, or we start with the gentleman.
The ladies can go first.
All right. There you have it. From my far end.
My name is Tilda Ndegwa. I'm a mental advocate for Scouts Healing Invisible Wounds, and I'm a student, a law student, yes.
Thank you very much, Tilda. It's good having you here. Actually, it's your first time.
Yes.
So karibu sana.
Well, thank you.
Yes, moving on. We have, I thought you said ladies first. We have Ivy. Yes.
Yeah, so my name is Ivy Murugi. I'm a counseling psychologist by profession, and the team lead for the Scouts Healing Invisible Wounds mental health initiative. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ivy. Yes, last but not least.
Okay, I'm Shitsugane Bernstein, a student at the Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, taking journalism. I serve as the finance officer in the Scouts Healing Invisible Wounds.
Okay, thank you very much to all of you guys for making time. I'm very delighted and excited to have this conversation with young people, and I appreciate the good work that you're doing. But in a brief, you've mentioned that you're from Scouts Healing Invisible Wounds. Maybe for a person who doesn't know, what is this group all about? I think either you can tell the viewers.
Yeah, sure thing. So the Scouts Healing Invisible Wounds is a mental health initiative registered under the Kenya Scouts Association. So we began our work in 2020 during the COVID-19 period because we felt the need to support young people because of all the things they were exposed to as a result of the pandemic. But with time, we also realized that there were so many other gaps in terms of the mental health context in Kenya. So we diversified our activities and programs. So right now we are involved in quite a couple of activities, from mental health literacy programs, that is trainings on things like psychological first aid. We do outreach programs in schools, religious institutions, workplaces.
Okay.
We also do online advocacy, that is through webinars and platforms like the engagement that we're having with Capuchin.
Right.
Besides that, we use something called experiential activities. So youthful activities like swimming, hikes, psychosocial camps that provide young people with a safe space to be able to have fun, network, but also learn something about mental health. And we also link those that are in need of psychosocial support services to mental health care providers at subsidized rates.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that introduction, Ivy. Well, our conversation being suicide prevention and awareness. I know in the month of September is set aside to create awareness on these, and actually we are winding up on this month. So let's talk about suicide. What do you understand by the term suicide? Maybe Bernstein, you can go ahead.
So I would say suicide is a very serious health problem currently, and it cuts across all the ages, but it's more rampant in the young age of around 15 to 24. That's majorly the youth. And also, suicide itself is the act of one intentionally taking his or her life. So that's what suicide possibly could be. And there are many factors behind it, some which may be mental illnesses, drug abuse, and amongst many others that we have around.
I know we shall come back to
we shall
that,
discuss that in details when the time comes.
Okay, I don't know if any one of you, Ivy and Tilda, have a different maybe understanding on what is suicide. Oh, right. Okay, so it's the same thing. Well, I don't know if when we mention that suicide prevention and awareness, people understand what we mean by that. I think, Tilda, you can go ahead and explain to our viewers what do we mean by saying suicide prevention and awareness? What is the need of creating this awareness on these?
So suicide prevention and awareness is the effort, involving the effort to reduce the risk of suicide amongst us people, the youth mostly. And then it also embraces the increasement of awareness about mental health and what to do when you have an issue. So the importance of this prevention and awareness is, one, we save life, because after we talk to someone, or when you talk about something, you create that awareness to someone, and maybe they see there is more to life. And then we address the underlying issues. Okay, at times people think that suicide is all about the top layer of things, but when you go deeper, you look for the root causes of suicide. What is causing this suicide? So yes, maybe it's mental health, maybe it's trauma, maybe it's societal pressure from the society. And then we address stigma. There is less stigma when we have awareness, this month of awareness. So we interact with people. They know that they're also important. They can talk about it, and no judgment about it. Yeah, that is the importance of awareness and prevention.
Okay,
Yeah.
and by doing that, I'm sure we bring a hope to young people and even to the people that are suffering or maybe going through such kind of a thing. And I love that you mentioned that let us all save lives. I think I'm sure up here, Ivy, you noted that point. All right, I don't know if you have something before we talk about risk factors or maybe the warning signs of these suicide.
No, I think just to add on what Tita has said, the importance of carrying out suicide prevention and awareness is to also push the stakeholders that are actually supposed to be the ones making decisions about our health, to be able to implement policies and put up structures that can ensure that people are finding support, because we want to save lives. So if it's something like access to mental health care, do we have policies that are putting that in place? So that's also the importance of ensuring that, pushing those stakeholders that are involved, and also on a general, ensuring that anybody that is struggling out there, or a friend that is struggling, you already have an idea of where you can be able to link this person. So awareness is definitely going to bring that to people's attention.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to you, Bernstein. Maybe you can tell us what are some of the common and warning signs that are associated with this suicide?
Okay. We have a variety of them, but I think I can mention the ones that that I know. So amongst the many that we have, you see, you might have a friend, they have their valuables, but decide to give them the valuables that they have to you. So that's one of the warning signs that this person will take the majority of the things that they have. They are valuable to them, but they just decide to give away. This means that this person comes to the conclusion that my life is not going beyond here. So why do I have to keep these things? That's one sign. Another sign could be this person is loneliness. This person isolates themselves from the rest, so that you find that this person is just sitting at the corner thinking about their life. But they're not thinking about their life in the positive way. They're thinking about how they're going to end it at that particular point. Also, we have the factor, the other thing is about trauma. So you find that this person has so much to think of that he cannot do that anymore. He or she cannot do that anymore. So it ends at the point where they decide, let me just end my life and do it at that particular point. Yeah.
All right. Yes, Tilda, I can see you want to talk about something.
I guess we'll mention even physical illness. At times, people are sick. They're so much in pain that you just want that to end. You feel like, apana, I can't deal with this anymore. So they take that initiative of death by suicide. And then there is drug and substance use. It's a risk factor for the youth. When you lack that money to buy the drugs and it's kicking in, you're feeling like, I need to use some drugs and I have no way, I can't steal. So what else can I do? Yeah, those are the risk factors.
Okay, all right.
And also, at times, people mention the fact that I just feel like I want to die, and we don't take it serious. That mentioning that occurs more than once. Someone is insisting on the fact that I don't feel okay. Kama naweza kufa, inaweza nisaidia sana. So at times we don't take it serious, but always take caution when someone mentions that. It's a risk factor.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that insight, Tilda, and we appreciate so much. And still on that, I think you mentioned about loneliness. When you suspect someone has these kind of signs that you have all mentioned about, how do you approach that, Ivy?
I think one assumption that people have that is very wrong is that the moment you start that discussion, then it motivates them sort of in a way to actually engage in the act. But it is very important that you ask the direct questions. So if you're suspecting, because part of the ways through which you can, the signs and symptoms that we're speaking about, the kind of talk, they are talking in a very hopeless and helpless way about their life. They don't see any hope in the future. Sometimes they'll go as far as what Bernstein is speaking about, giving away their valuables, acquiring the means to die. So when you start noticing these symptoms, directly approach the person and ask the direct question. Do you actually want to take your life? Provide them with a safe space to be able to speak. And when we speak about safe space, we are talking about a space where they do not face any type of judgment. They're not feeling judged because of their issue. They don't feel like the issue they're presenting is, belittled. You're like, that's not something that's supposed to be bothering you. No. It might not be an issue for you, but the way they're processing it might be a big deal for them. So a safe space where they also can be able to just open up. So ask the direct question, provide that space for them, and then now together with them, find ways through which you can actually be able to maneuver this. Because it's a cry for help. This person doesn't actually want to take away their life. It's a cry for help for them to be sort of, pulled out of the drowning water. So help them to come up, be with them as you come up with what we call it, a risk. I'm forgetting the word, but a way through which they can be able to, some sort of a risk management, so that they don't actually take the means. So does it mean that you physically spend time with them until they are in a more stable space? Does it mean that you start connecting them to a mental health professional? Does this person need to get checked maybe into a mental health facility? So ensuring that all the risk factors and the means through which they might actually use to take away their lives is not around them. So ask the direct questions, offer them that safe space to be able to speak if they want to speak, connect them to a professional, and ensure that they are not in danger. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, Bernstein?
Just to add on what Ivy has said, it's also good that we be cautious while handling such, because you might think of comparing yourself to them. I tried this some time back and this is what worked out for me. You see, whatever worked and saw you through that problem is not what is hindering me at this particular time. So while dealing with such cases, just be cautious that you do not compare your situation with the person at hand.
Don't rush to give them solutions.
Okay, all right. And maybe I can take you back on our topic, that is holding on to hope. When you talk about hope, why is it important even for young people and even for everyone to have hope in their future? I guess Ivy.
Okay. Because life is like a mystery. And I like to tell young people that I speak to that we don't have a manual. So you're actually navigating through a space where you don't know what tomorrow holds. So today might look very bleak. Today might look like things are not working out. But you sleep tonight and you wake up tomorrow and things might start working out. It might take days, it might take weeks, months, years for things to actually start working out in the end. So always have hope, because that is what motivates us every day to actually wake up. So not focusing so much on what is not working, but looking at what can I be able to do to make a difference in my tomorrow. Yeah, so hope is very important.
All right. And I think, Bernstein, you mentioned about stigmatization in the society. What are some of the myths and misconceptions that are associated with these suicide?
Okay. At times you find people say that, for example, if my family, there's one member in my family that died by suicide sometimes back. So you find that the family is being maybe named, that family people do die by suicide each and every time. So wherever a person dies, it becomes that he or she died by suicide from that family. That family is named, or it's being branded a name, they die by suicide. So, but the actual fact is that people, you can wake up today, the next day on the road you die. But now that your family has been branded, you'll find that they say you've died by suicide. Again, another factor is people say that out of curiosity that mental health does not, like if you have mental issues or maybe mental illness is the key thing that makes a person die by suicide. But there are other many overwhelming issues other than the mental health that will actually, mental illness, that will actually make a person take that initiative of maybe dying by suicide at the end of the day.
All right. And how can society reduce this stigmatization of the suicide? Yes, still there?
Creating awareness through education and community, where we talk about what is bothering us. Talking about mental health and also suicide doesn't mean that you're creating ways in which someone can do suicide. So talking more about it, one is self-aware of their self. They know, if I'm not feeling okay, I'm okay to talk about it. And also calling upon the government to create policies and also structures that can help out those people who have suicide issues and suicidal thoughts. We can also, using technology, that is social media. We do the Google Meets, you create posters on suicide, that will help, yeah.
All right. Yes, I will.
I'd want to add that media also plays a very big role. So using the right language in a way that we do not glorify or sensualize, this topic. Also using the right language, because sometimes when, for example, I know we're going to talk about it somewhere when, for example, a media that is being able to reach out to so many people uses a term like committing suicide. You see, that's already creating like a stigma narrative. So the media needs to also have some sort of basic training on the right language to be able to use as far as speaking about mental health on a general or even suicide is concerned, because they're reaching a lot of people with information, and it's also a very good outlet to be able to spread information. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that insight, Ivy. And still on that, let's talk about, you mentioned something to do with mental health. How can people, young people, actually everyone, because as I mentioned when we were beginning the show, I said that mental health is very important to everyone at every stage, actually even everywhere, from workplaces, at home, in churches, wherever you go. How can one prioritize this mental health and well-being?
We say there's no health without mental health. So even if your physical health is in check and your mental health is not okay, then it means you're not going to lead a normal and fulfilling life. So it's about intentionality, and I usually want to start from an aspect of self-awareness. You need to be really aware of who is Maureen. How do you operate on a normal day? So that when you notice that things are off and it's actually becoming like a trend, then you know that it's time for me to actually look back and be able to identify what is bothering me. So start from a point of self-awareness. How do I operate on a normal day? How do I know that I'm actually shifting from and going, down? And then now becoming intentional about engaging in positive coping strategies. So most times what works for me might not actually work for you.
Very
So
true.
you might have to try so many things before you establish, what gives me that satisfaction and ensures that I'm in good health. So is it taking walks in nature? Is it engaging in a hobby that I love? Is it journaling? Is it reading? Be able to explore all these things until you find that something that is of satisfaction. And then ensuring that you have a very strong social support network. It's very important. People that you can lean back on when things are not working out. People that know you on a real level. People that know you behind that mask that you put on of being okay. And they can actually be able to reach out to you when they notice, hey, Maureen is not doing good.
Yeah, very true.
And also, you don't have to get to a point of when you're droning is when you're now getting into therapy. Sometimes even walk into a therapist room and you just want to know, am I doing okay? So getting professional help when there's also that need. So it's basically just about intentionality. The same way you're intentional about going to the hospital to do your physical checkup, also take time to be able to reflect, take breaks, be intentional about your well-being. Yeah.
All right.
Yes, just to build on what Ivy has said.
Okay.
We also have the five key areas we should look around. One, you should be able to find your interests in what you want to do. As in, you need to know yourself. That one, you've found your interest. Set achievable goals. That's the second one. After you've set achievable goals, then plan on how you're going to work, or rather strategize on how you're going to work on these goals that you've set. Then the next thing is you take action. After you've planned, you take action on how you're going to work to achieve the goals. Then lastly, just be persistent and patient in whatever you're going to do.
All right. Thank you very much for that additional, Bernstein. Maybe Tilda, you can talk to us about how can people learn to manage stress and make sure that they prevent having those kind of suicidal thoughts in their lives.
One is physical exercise. It works. Maybe it doesn't work for everybody, but most of us, it works for us. You can do some yoga, you can do some jogging, you can go to the gym. It helps you not stress out. You don't think so much. Also check on your nutrition, whatever you eat. At times, statistics out here. Last week, I saw a statistics on the junks we eat cause a lot of stress. And it was like, wow, okay, I never knew. So yeah, whatever you eat and whatever you intake in your body matters a lot. And also the time that you spend sleeping. At times, we work so hard and we are always out searching for money, but we don't think about the sleep, which is very, very important. that helps in not having that stress that leads to suicidal thoughts later on. So always check on your sleeping schedule. Yeah.
Okay, sleeping is very important.
Okay.
As well, we can add on the point that Ivy said on the other question, your social connection. If you have a very wide social connection that you can reach out to at any given point, it will help a lot.
All right. Let me take you back, Bernstein. You mentioned that you have ever experienced a person who took their lives. How does it still maybe ring to you still now? How do you cope with that?
It's very hard to deal with such, especially if it's someone very close that you know it hits hard, as they would say. Currently, I would say I've at least gone over it. It's not hitting as much as it used to hit that time, simply because at the position I am right now, I've undergone the training, the awareness and everything, so I'm able to cope up with whatever is biting inside. The methods that I use to cope up is you just be positive about life. If someone has died by suicide at that particular point, his life has ended at that point. It's your turn now to step in and know what you do after that, so that you don't find yourself back into that shoes. Because it's something that is traumatizing. You might think, why am I being left alone? Yet maybe my best friend or my family member has done the same thing. Because it's something psychological. You might find yourself one time going back into it again. Yeah.
All right. And before we talk about the resources, I loved something that you posted on your Twitter handle. And I think, Ivy, you can talk to us about this because you are the team lead. And you mentioned that emphasizing died by suicide instead of committed suicide is a language shift that aims to reduce stigma and provide a more compassionate perspective on the topic. Talk to us. Why did you write such kind of a post or maybe the hashtag?
So when you look at the definition of the word committing, it makes it look like a crime. And by the time somebody gets to a place where they want to take away their life, then it means that they've been able to go through so much. And we're trying to, get to this shift and helping people to understand that mental illness is illness like any other. It's just like a physical illness. The only difference is that the manifestation is through the mind. So this person is actually sick, the same way you would have somebody that is diabetic. You don't say somebody committed diabetes. This person is actually mentally ill. So we are trying to remove that aspect that makes it look like a crime in order to ensure that there's that compassion. You look at this person as somebody that needs psychosocial support, as somebody that needs professional support, as somebody that needs to be given enough grace to be able to start healing. But when you talk about committing, then it means now we're shifting to actually thinking about imprisoning this person because it's a crime. When people commit something, they get jailed and everything. But this person doesn't deserve jail. This person deserves to be treated like a sick person who can actually be able to recover. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that clarification, Ivy, on that. Let's talk about the resources. What do you think should the church and the schools do, or maybe the institution do, to ensure that maybe they have facilities and they can help these young people or even create awareness to those people maybe who have ever had these suicidal thoughts or ideation? Yes, Tilda.
Yeah. For the resources, I would say that the government is working on it and better off. They have the resources in all the Level 4 and 5 hospitals that they offer special counseling for people. And also Kenyatta National Hospital offers counseling for people under the age of 25, which is good. Also, we can offer to teach professions on mental health so that they can know more about it and how to handle these people who have suicidal thoughts. Also, the teachers back at school, when they are undergoing their programs back in campuses, they can be given some courses, units that focuses on how to handle kids. They are also amongst those who die by suicide. So we can offer the teachers and the professionals some units on how to handle those cases. And also back in the community, we create awareness. We talk to people more about it. Talking about it creates awareness. Most of the time we find that most people don't want to talk about suicide. They feel like apana, something that it shouldn't be spoken about. So yeah, mobilizing more people and more resources to talk about it can help a lot. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much, Tilda. Yes, Vanstay.
As well, at workplaces, we can have the support groups. Let's say we have one office that we know a trained personnel is there. So as a worker, when you feel like I need some help, you can be able to go to that person, seek help, and get at least the required knowledge that you would want to have to ease whatever it is that is taking you up. Again, back in the community, as my friend has said, we also need the support groups as well. In Kenya, we do elections and we elect people into office. So I think we can take that advantage and advocate for them. At least we can push them to advocate for us because they're at the higher position, let's say in parliament or whatever, so that the devolved units come back to the society. Like we have a facility in the society that can take care of such people.
All right.
I think from a church aspect, the church plays a very important role when it comes to giving people hope. And because so many people come to find solace in the church, then I feel that religious leaders and the lay people involved should be at the forefront of actually advocating for mental health in the first place. And the church can also try and see what resources it has to ensure that there's like professional help available. I know of churches that have like counseling psychologists in place, and they usually keep advertising on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We have a counseling psychologist that people can walk into, because that's a challenge that most young people especially are facing, the affordability of these mental health services. So if you're providing this, then it means they can always walk in and actually be able to find support. And because you have access to a lot of masses, then normalize these conversations so that you get rid of the stigma, help people know that it's okay not to be okay, and help them to also know that there's hope and they can actually be able to find that support they need. So you play a critical role as a church.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. And still on you, Ivy, I know you're creating awareness and helping people to know about their mental health and their mental well-being. Apart from maybe coming to Capuchin and having this conversation, what other things are you doing to help even young people out there? Do you have some activities?
We definitely do. Actually, for this Suicide Prevention Month, we had an event at Mango High School, because we've also realized that most of these issues usually stem from the ages of 15 and 24, according to statistics by the World Health Organization. So we are getting to young people right from this adolescent age, where people usually say, oh, it's adolescence, it's a phase. But some are actually being predisposed to so many stressors back in their homes that are eating into their school and everything. So we had an event that aimed at creating awareness on different thematic areas of mental health, but also incorporating physical exercise and very many other aspects. So we handle adolescents. Again, looking at our target group, which is young people, it is very hard for you as a young person to come sit down for a whole hour and listen to me speak about depression. But if I involve you in, for example, an activity like a hike or a camp, you're coming there for the hype and enjoyment. But through the program and the activities that we have for that specific day, then you're able to learn a thing or two. We are very active on online advocacy, so social media campaigns through posters. We do webinars and that type of a thing. And also we are also launching some support groups that are going to be more theme specific. So a space where people can just come, sit down, connect, have a conversation that is guided by a professional for them to be able to find that help. And we're also trying to diversify our program in a way that we also accommodate persons with psychosocial with physical disabilities. So visually impaired, hearing impaired, ensuring that they also have access to these kind of programs.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that. And let's talk to Tilda. I know you're practicing law. What does the Kenyan law talk about or maybe say about suicide?
Okay. In accordance to the Penal Code, Section 225 to 26, it's a crime. Sorry to say, suicide is a crime. And 225 says anybody who aids in committing suicide, who attempts to commit suicide, is liable to 2 years in jail or a fine. So that's a misdemeanor. Misdemeanor is a period of sentencing between 1 year to 3 years. So according to the government, it's their job to protect the lives of their citizens. So I feel that they're obligated to conserve and preserve lives for us and also make some decisions for the society. In accordance to morals, it's also wrong to die by suicide. But I feel they should have some limits to the suicide. Maybe someone is suffering from mental health issues. You shouldn't jail this person. They should create as how he said, we have members of parliament, and also we have those nominated members of parliament who are specifically for disabilities. Mental health is a disability. They should come together, create a proposal or a policy where that this crime should be decriminalized so that we can make it more of it's a health issue. We don't jail people with diabetes. Why do you have to jail people who have suicidal thoughts? So yeah, I feel that in as much as it's the right of the government to protect and preserve life, they also should consider. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Yes, Bernstein, do you have something to add on that? Okay, let's continue. I think you mentioned about the role of social media and technology, about that. Maybe how can the society, or maybe what are some of the challenges that the society face when trying to maybe prevent these, or even people who have gone maybe through these suicidal thoughts? Because I remember there was a time, actually 2 months back, I attended an event in Machakos. And actually, my friend told me that that morning, there was a person who tried to take their life. So what is the society supposed to do this?
First is to eradicate the stigma. Because with stigma, people are afraid to actually come out and seek support. I remember in 2020 during the COVID period, I'm not very certain what month it was, but it was 3 months. The National Police Department in Kenya reported that they had recorded 483 cases of death by suicide. But this is what was recorded. I am sure most family members would prefer to say our person died of COVID than say that they actually took their lives. So because of that stigma, we don't want to be segregated by community members like, oh, this is the family where people take away their lives. So the first step is to actually eradicating that stigma so that people feel confident enough to be able to come out and seek that psychosocial support. Again, being intentional about educating yourself on matters mental health. We have a lot of resources, both online, like in very many spaces, we have organizations that are doing a lot of advocacy. So be part of those kind of conversations so that you're able to speak from a point of knowledge. So that if you find somebody that actually is struggling, even before they get to that point of contemplating suicide, you're already offering that psychosocial support. So suicide is not an option in their minds. So educate yourself. Yeah. I don't know if they have anything to add.
All right. I can see Tilda noting that she doesn't have something to add. Yeah. And with that, maybe this brings us to the end of this conversation. And I think I'm going to give you just maybe some few seconds or even a minute so that maybe you can do your takeaway as part of our conversation. And mental health is concerned and suicide prevention and awareness is concerned too. Maybe we can start with Bernstein.
Okay. So we have a majority, according to statistics, that is the gender statistics, we have men being the more rampant people dying by suicide compared to ladies. So my shout out today will be to men. Wherever you are, it's okay not to be okay. And I think there are more safe spaces outside here whom you could reach to at any given point. And whichever it is that you have in your mind, I think these safe spaces are able to help you at any given point. And if you don't trust anybody in person, we have online services that are there. For example, you have the 1199 for the Red Cross team that will help you at any given point, as long as you reach out to them, and it's a toll-free number.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Yes, Tilda, Ndegwa.
Yeah. So I'll say, as you said, your mental health is your wealth. We should focus on it. Okay, we'll come here out, talk, mobilize people, advocate for mental health, but it's up to you to be aware of yourself, know what you're going through, and also take the initiative to come out and talk. Because I can't force you to talk to me. I'll advocate for, yes, mental health is the best thing, but we'll need more people to accept and just come out. We talk about it and see how we can help each other. Also, I'll call upon people to not be judgmental on people who have mental health issues and also suicidal thoughts. This will help more people to actually come out, report these cases, because there is under-reporting of the cases by suicide. I'll also thank you, the media. Thank the media for advocating for mental health awareness. Yeah, a good job there.
Thank you.
Also call upon the government to actualize and implement their policies. Most of them are documented, but after documentation, what happens? So implementation is
very important.
Very important.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Tilde, for that insight. Yes, last, Ivy Murugi, what do you have to say?
So this year's theme for the World Suicide Prevention Month is creating hope through action. So as an individual, even before we get to organizational and governmental aspects, what are you as an individual doing to be able to create hope through action for yourself and for the people that are around you? Don't look at these statistics as just statistics. They're not just numbers. These are people's family members, they're people's spouses, colleagues. So you don't have to wait for that specific time when you actually lose somebody that you loved for you to become intentional about advocating for mental health or being a safe space to those around you.
Okay.
Create hope through the small actions that you are taking every day, and become intentional about your mental health. Life doesn't get any easier, sadly. So at an individual capacity, also develop your resilience. Navigate through whatever life throws at you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, and shout out to Scouts Healing Invisible Wounds for the good work that you're doing by advocating mental health and all that engagement, even for going to young boys' schools and even to coming here at Capuchin TV. So we appreciate and thank you for making a time, and by creating and reminding people that there is hope, we save life. All right, and my takeaway is that I remember the power to make a difference starts with us, and by fostering open dialogue, showing empathy, and offering a helping hand to those in need, together we can be a beacon of hope in the darkest times. Well, and that brings us to the end of our conversation today. Thank you very much for tuning in to our program here at our Health Corner show at Capuchin TV. My name is Maureen Kimani. Thank you very much, and may God bless you. Wishing you a lovely day.
Enjoy this conversation with me, Maureen Kimani, every Friday from 9 a.m. on our Health Corner show here at Capuchin TV. Your health is your wealth. Capuchin TV.
Tumetoka mbali, bado tuko mbali, na tunaenda wapi? Mbali.
Endelea kutazama Capuchin TV, huduma Katoliki ya uinjilishaji. Dioceses play a pivotal role in the organizational structure and missions of the Catholic Church. They are fundamental to the Church's ability to effectively spread and uphold its teachings, provide pastoral care, and serve the spiritual needs of its members. After the awe-inspiring elevation of the Catholic Diocese of Isiolo, it's time for another glorious celebration. For over 50 years, the Catholic Diocese of Machakos has been a beacon of faith, hope and charity in Machakos and Makueni counties, and it continues to inspire and uplift the hearts of all who come in contact with it. On the 22nd of July 2023, Pope Francis erected the Diocese of Wote and designated Right Reverend Paul Kariuki Njiru, who has been the Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Embu, as the first Bishop of the new diocese, adding up the total number of dioceses in Kenya to 26. Join us for this momentous occasion on Saturday, September 30th this year at St. Joseph the Worker in Wote Town, Makueni County, starting at 10 a.m. This celebration will be presided over by His Excellency Archbishop Bart Van Meegen, the Apostolic Nuncio to Kenya and South Sudan. Capuchin TV will bring you this event live on our social media platforms. Save the date. Come as a community to celebrate our faith. Join us for this momentous occasion on Saturday, September 30th this year at St. Joseph the Worker in Wote Town, Makueni County, starting at 10 a.m. Your Catholic Identity Channel.
Kutoka Jimbo Katoliki la Embu hadi Jimbo Kuu Katoliki la Nairobi, Capuchin TV tunaendelea kukuletea sherehe za siku ya familia ya parokia, dekania na Jimbo Katoliki. Kutoka Jimbo la Embu kwenye siku ya kifamilia Jumapili iliyopita, Jumamosi hii tarehe 30 mwezi huu, Capuchin TV tutajiunga na dekania ya Mang'u iliyoko kwenye Jimbo Kuu Katoliki la Nairobi kwenye sherehe ya siku ya kifamilia ya dekania hiyo. Dekania ya Mang'u inaunganisha parokia 8 ikiwemo St. Stephen Parish Kairi, Our Lady of Rosary Parish Kamwangi, St. Teresa Parish Kianguno, Our Lady of Fatima Parish Kiriko, St. John the Baptist Parish Mang'u, St. Anne Parish Matara, St. Peter Parish Nyamang'ara na St. Teresa of Avila Parish Gashege. Sherehe hii itafanyika moja kwa moja kutoka parokia St. Anne Parish Matara kuanzia saa 4 asubuhi. Kiongozi wa ibada atakuwa Mhashamu Askofu Mstaafu Rodrigo Mejia. Ungana nasi hapa na kwenye mitandao yetu ya kijamii ili kupata kila tukio kutoka Mang'u. Capuchin TV inawatakia baba paroko, watawa na Wakristo wa dekania ya Mang'u sikukuu njema ya kifamilia. Endelea kutazama Capuchin TV, kitambulisho Katoliki. The Tangaza Institute for Interreligious Dialogue and Islamic Studies invites scholars of different specialization and backgrounds to the inaugural conference on the role of religion in academia, which will be held on 28th and 29th September 2023 at Tangaza University College.
This special conference aims at providing a platform for researchers and practitioners to present new research insights and developments in the area. Areas of interest for this conference include religion studies vis-a-vis other aspects of knowledge in the academia. Among the guest speakers that we shall have Professor Eunice Kamara from Moi University, Professor Sahaya Selvam from Tangaza University, and Professor Mary Gitui from the Catholic University of Eastern Africa.
Tangaza University College welcomes you to this important and distinct inaugural conference.
This conference coincides also with the kick-off of the Vyriad project, which is the virtual exchanges in religious Euro-African dialogue, which is, as I've said, funded by the European Union, and we have 9 institutions which are working together. 5 institutions in Africa and 4 institutions in Europe. And the project is going to last for 3 years. And the main target are young scholars from Europe and Africa to exchange on religious ideas in order to avoid in the future what we call extremism and any discrimination based on religious identity.
For more information and inquiries, email us on inquiries@tangaza.ac.ke. Tangaza University College, teaching minds, touching hearts, and transforming lives.
Una persona sin techo que muere en la calle nunca va a aparecer en la primera página de los buscadores de internet o de los noticieros. ¿Cómo hemos podido llegar a este nivel de indiferencia?